We are going to do the very first Do Something Live at McGolf on the YouTube. Okay, we are, as the thumbnail stated, we're going to put on a couple of golf grips. And we're going to talk about the grip that we're going to put on. And a lot of other stuff next. Welcome back to the Golf Shop. Jim McCleary here, and this is where we talk about golf club repairs, golf club reviews, golf club fittings, all so your scores can go low. If you would, like, subscribe, hit that stuff across the bottom. That way, more of this information gets out to the YouTube universe. If you would, tell your families, tell your friends, tell everybody to get them to like and subscribe, and we get a little bit better hookup on the internet. All righty, so we had a new winner in Jonathan Vegas. Congrats to him, old timer, making it back in there. Old timer, you know, he's not 40 yet, but he's an old timer. And the Olympics are on, and golf's on the Olympics. I haven't seen the first bit of the Olympics. I saw pictures from that strange opening. It is what it is. All righty, stuff that we did in the shop. We had a request for a Wilson wedge for a golfer's mom. And there it is. It's a Wilson staff forged, and he wanted her initials put in there. And although it's not a very good picture, I put a violet paint in there because she wanted a violet coating. And I just happen to have violet in my paint scheme in here. So that did not work out well. We ended up putting a KBS Max 45, and as you can tell, a Golf Pride grip. So it came out pretty good. Made it to the spec that they wanted, and a very happy customer, I hope. All right, one of the other things that we did is a used new set of some Srixon ZX5s. And they, as you can tell, there's some Mizuno wedges in there. So what we did with this one was that they had some new, I think they were Neos in there, and from the factory, and we pulled those out and put these Acura I-Series in there. And as you can tell, very colorful ferrules that are an inch long, and we got them to go in there. Now, these are BB&F ferrules, and I've stated this time and time again. If you get one of those 1-inch ferrules and you try to slide it on and you have a 370 shaft, good luck. All right, you really need to ream these things out with a 3/8-inch drill, and when you get ready to do that, prepare for breakage. All right, prepare for breakage. Why? Because you see all those colors? Each one of those colors represents a ring. All right, these aren't made with some guy just throwing them on there. They're called beauty rings, and you just stack them one on top of another, and they glue those things together, and then they shape them, and you got a ferrule. Okay, now the regular ones that, you know, most of us get, the blacks with the chromes, that kind of stuff, or even just the blacks, and the solid reds or the solid greens or the solid blues, those are just one ferrule. Okay, just one ferrule. And it's a molded piece, and you inject your color and you're good to go. When you start seeing lines, those become beauty rings. Okay, and so that's what this is. And of course, I broke 3 of them. And they don't break like down this way. They break at the ring line. So when you put them back together, you got to be very careful that glue doesn't come oozing out and causing a whole nother ring, of which we did, and it didn't, and turned out pretty good. So there's the Acura I-Series 7s, and they matched up. They wanted these grips on there. You had some extras. Those are the old Pure Grip, who's not long around anymore. Which is kind of a lead into what we're getting ready to do. These are half DTX, half of their Tour Velvet like, and there's the overhead view. Alrighty, so we also did a set of left-handed 245s. And I gave them the little GolfWorks special ferrule. Now, as we're talking about ferrules on this one, if you guys, you know, want to update or, you know, upgrade your ferrule game, and either for your own self or your buddies, outside that black that you can get from GolfWorks, they're now offering custom ferrules. We'll call them custom ferrules because I didn't make them, so they're custom ferrules. and they have these multiple width chromes. They have some of that, like you saw, silver, white, silver, and they have some other colors that are available. Now, it's not like a rainbow of flavors like you see at BB&F, but these turn out pretty good. They're about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch, and they shine up really, really well. They take the acetone very, very well. Now, I will say the BB&Fs are a lot tougher, but the other one, the Golfworks ones, slide on way better. All right, so with those 245s, we got those put on there, some MCC4 blues. We like that. And then I got another set of Wilson Dynafords. I'm telling you, there's another set of his. We'll take those out. Those Wilson Dynafords, the Wilson product is actually flying out of here pretty good. I'm starting to see drivers. And the funny part is when I put a slight upgraded shaft into this Wilson club, the Wilson really works well. So we've been very fortunate with that. And what I have sitting on the wall right now that Mrs. McGolf is going to try and con me into finishing as soon as we're done here is I got a set sitting right there, and I got a set sitting right there. And the VRTX, and you can see I got a driver sitting there and another wedge in the VRTX. The VRTX has actually got picked up quite a bit this weekend. We set basically a record and did eight fittings in 2 days, and it was way easier doing it that way we did it than we have in the past. So we might have to keep doing it that way. Went through a lot of irons, went through a lot of drivers. It was quite a bit of fun. Now I will say, a gentleman came in, and he's a watcher, and he might be watching right now, and he's over there by Ohio University area, and said he wanted to beat his driver. And he big time fade. And what we found out is that his driver was a little bit too long and is a bit too stiff, but he still got a hold of it pretty decent. So once we found the right length, he was way right. And so once we got the right length, he was still right, but playing in the fairway kind of right. And then we started telling him about, when people doing this, it's normally a hands turning over thing, and their swing is so grooved that they truly can't pull it. They really can't turn them over. Well, I normally just say, hit the left-hand side of my net. And very first shot, this cat just hits the left-hand side of my net. I was like, well, you can turn it over. So start doing it. And so he did. He started hitting some things straight. We got him landing within 10 yards of the center line. And, the fades will still show up because that's just old habit breaking through. But we did pretty good. And what we ended up with, we didn't beat the driver distance per se by a lot. 3 or 4 yards, maybe 2. Was it 3 yards? Probably 3 yards. That's not a lot, right? It's not a lot. However, the dispersion went like this. So we went from his being all the way over here to one being in the middle, and actually we had one that was too light, and he actually was finding nothing but the right-hand side of the fairway. To the point it was such a bad pull we couldn't even use those either. So that's part and parcel of fittings. What we were finding out was that what I found out that there's every shape and make and model of golfer out there, and we went through stuff that had high offset, stuff that didn't, things that we had a guy that started off at 83 mile an hour with an iron swing, and when I was all done with him and he got all warmed up and whatnot, was well into the mid 90s. It's amazing what happens when the club gets comfortable. So that was also very, very cool. So we did that, and a lot going on. We're still moving and shaking, and so we ought to be pretty decent. And as you can see behind me, it was a nice weekend. My golf course was jam-packed with tournaments, and so I did not get out. So I ended up helping Miss McGolf put together a set of chairs back here that have wicker on them, and so she now has some wicker chairs to sit on other than our Amish stuff. And then we went to cooking. I did a brisket, and it turned out to be a really good brisket with some burnt ends and some of the thinner pieces on the other side, the flat. And those turned out really, really well too. All righty. We're going to go here. I'm going to go to the comments first, and then we're going to talk about what we're getting ready to do. All right. So we're at the very top, and we're going to go with Mac. And no rounds. What amount of golf is perfect for you in a given day? Well, 18 is pretty good. 27 anymore. I'm so far out of golf shape. I don't know if I could go any further than that. Used to do 36, but the other 18 was always a scramble format. So that's about as good as my day gets. All righty, Kent. He made over 3,000 pounds for a charity event, Copa Field Breast Cancer Charity. And the wife won the ladies' side. That's awesome. Another member came in second. Wow, you go, man. You were loaded, Kent. Don't tell me any different. Okay, so here we go. That's fine. Yeah, Copa Field. When are you going to? We're getting ready to go pretty quick. You were starting with questions. No, we're going to do a couple. Are you done yet? Okay. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. Like the thing says, we're putting on a grip. All right, we're actually going to put on two grips. We're going to talk about the two different methods of putting on a grip. One being the traditional. That thing just moved. Watch this. Oh, it didn't do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one on the traditional method. One is with the solvent and the tape method, and the other one's going to be air. Okay, we're going to use the air method. Now, I got something special for you. We are putting on some Star grips. All right, Star grips is a made in the USA grip. They use an EDPM rubber. All right, I think I call it Star Tack, EDPM rubber. For those of you who don't know, EDPM rubber is the same kind of rubber that's used in your weather stripping on your car window. So it's extraordinarily durable. And this durability, they believe in it so much that they offer a 3-year warranty on their grips, not to get cracky or any of that other stuff. That's pretty big. And the prices of their grips are not very pricey either. So they have 3 different kind of grips. All right, they have the grip that I'm getting ready to put on. We're called the Tour Velvet Light grip. Then they have a Tour 360 grip, which is kind of a flatter wrap size grip. And then they have another wrap style grip. All right, and then they also had one that we used to use way, way, way back in the day. Well, the first grip, the Tour Velvet grip, is called the Sidewinder. Okay, and the other one, I'm just trying to figure out. Let me give you a second here. And there was one we used to use quite a bit, and it was really kind of weird on the what we would use. The Smoothie, that's it. So it's a Sidewinder, a classic wrap, Star 360 on some of them, and then the Smoothie. Now the Smoothie back in the day was one of my most favorite grips. It was one of my most favorite grips in that it was very, very tacky, and it was actually kind of soft. So if you like a softer texture wrapped feel where the edges of the wrap are curved over, that might be the way to go for you. All right. So again, made in the USA, 3-year warranty, not very expensive, and they come in just a rainbow of colors. All right. So what is so special about this? I talked to their marketing / social media person, and he said that we can give away a set of grips. So what's going to happen is you guys need to be subscribed and you need to like this video. Okay. And we are not waiting for a week. We're going to do it at the end of this video. Okay. So it's not too doggone hard. Mrs. McDolph is going to pick it. And what we're going to do is whoever she picks, she'll ask you for your email, and we will send you Hayden's contact information, and then you guys can work out how you get it, where you get it, what you get it. Okay, that's how that's going to work. Okay, so the last thing before we get started, this is the River Proof series from Augusta distillery there in Augusta, Kentucky. And this is one of those 3 that you can thieve out of a barrel yourself. It's a 2-year-old 120, and it tends to be a very young one, but it doesn't drink that bad. But cheers. Okay, so Mrs. McGough is going to be operating the camera, and we're going to take a grip off, and then we're going to kind of feel it around. You guys can ask questions, and she'll read them off, and we can talk as I'm putting them through. Okay? All right, so I'm going to turn off my mic feed over here. All right, let's go do this thing. All right, make sure that they can hear it.
How do you
Say
do
somebody
that?
can hear it, I'm sure.
How do you do that?
I don't know. They'll tell you if it's not. It'll start scrolling up. All righty. Got it here. So the first thing to install a grip is you got to take a grip off. All right, so I am installing some sidewinders on my wedges. All my other clubs have the sidewinders on them, so we're going to make them all feel the same. So one of the things, the key tools that you need for taking a grip off is a hook blade utility knife. Now, normal utility knives are going to have this coming out of them, the straight edge, okay? It's a useful tool, however, not for gripping. So if you guys got the graphite shafts, if you had steel shafts, that would work pretty decent. But if you got graphite, you run a chance of scarring or even cutting the graphite shaft. All right, so what you do is use this. Now you'll see a lot of people and they'll just hook it like this and they'll draw it across just like at 12 o'clock. What you really want to do to prevent the scraping is lay it down on the shaft and hook it this way and then just draw it back. So what it's doing is it's literally running across the top of the shaft, not on top of the shaft, and it reduces you getting that in there. All right, so we pull off like that. Now, this is the normal tape that I use. It's double-sided. You get it from Golf Works. And what you have to do is reactivate it with some heat. And I use the heat gun. I've had this for years. You're going to give it about 10 to 15 seconds aside.
Charlie wants to know, if I'm the pro, why aren't I doing this?
Charlie wants to know what?
If I'm the pro, why am I not doing this?
Well,
You can tell him.
because she didn't want to get on camera.
Thank you.
Anyway, get on camera. That's what it was. All right, so the heat reactivates the adhesive on there and just makes it really, really easy to pull off. Okay. Now, if for those of you that do this quite a bit, or you'll come across this really weird-looking, almost cloth-like, and it is water-soluble tape. And water-soluble tape does not come off anywhere near like that does. What we tend to do is heat it up a little bit and scrape off. And if you can get the edges going, you just kind of got to work it backwards like that. However, if that doesn't work, then what I use is a box blade, and I just basically just start giving it the scraping method like this until I get it all, and it comes off in a big hairy mess at the bottom. That's the reason why it's really cool to put it on with just water, but it's really bad to take it off without it. Okay, so the other one of the things that they talked about Star Grip is that they're within a gram of each other. So I measured, just for a hot hoot and holler, I measured these things, and they were within 1/10 of 1 gram from each other. That's pretty doggone good. However, I've got another one over here, and it was not. It was about 2.5 grams. So 2.5 grams. Is 2.5 grams a big deal? Because everyone's going to be, oh, it's swing weight. Well, it takes 4 grams to actually impact it, so you're only half the swing weight, which nobody would feel. All righty, so what do we got to do? We got to mark where we're going to put this tape.
Where do you want?
This thing has a ring down at the bottom, or at the butt, and it has a ring at the tip section. So to make sure you don't have your tape overrun your grip, you put the ring at one end, you put this ring at the other, and you make a mark. Now you know where your tape has got to go. That's as far as that tape's going to go, so you don't have it sticking out the back end of your grip and it's horrible looking. All right, one last thing. You guys are getting the bonus package here. I like the bottom end of my grip built up. So I hold it like this, and I make sure I don't go past my mark here. And we take my build-up tape, and we go like that. So now I've got my bottom hand. Now, can it be this big? Yes. Can it be smaller? Certainly can. Just that's what I like. All right. Then we get another piece of tape, and I'm going to send it off to the side. You see I'm not following it. And what I'm trying to do is I don't want to create all those creases down at the bottom. I don't want to create a rib. So you can go in quarter increments if you want. The idea here is no wrinkles. Alrighty, twist this off. Jim, you got excess? Yes, I do. Cut it off like that. You get a little bit, you can just fold it over like they do at Callaway, and away we go. Alrighty. So the first method we're going to use is the standard method. Now,
Sally says that I have to show my drink.
yeah,
I don't even have my drink out here.
So in this particular instance, Stir Grip provides a notch and a notch to help you center it. And it just so happens it's in line with their logo here. So that's what we're going to do. Now, would it hurt? Could you tell if it wasn't on there? No. If nobody was looking, they wouldn't be able to tell, but I would know. So this is how we're going to do it. You see, I put enough about halfway into the grip, shook it up, and I drained it out of the backside. And what you do is just keep pushing until it gets all the way to the top. You're checking your alignment, and the alignment is at noon, going towards the bottom of the iron. Then what you do is you tap it on the ground to make sure it seats, give it a little look-see to make sure you're okay, and you took my paper. You did. And she's laughing. So anyway, what I do, the last bit of it is I dab it in the solvent, and I wipe it off, and it takes all the extraneous goo off. And there is one grip on. Okay. This is going to be where stuff starts getting a little bit tricky. This is my other wedge. This is and so the big thing with Star Grip is it's a tapeless installation. Yes, it is. And if you look at their video, they actually have a piece of tape on there. But it's the build-up tape, right? It's that build-up tape. Now you can use painter's tape, that blue painter's tape that's got a little bit of texture to it. I've seen guys use that with success. And I will say, so the pro of using it the old way, it's very easy. Everybody knows how to do it, but it can get messy, okay? The pro to using the air is it's on, you go, and you're done. All right. But the con to that is every once in a while you hear stories of the grip sliding. All right. So I'm kind of taking it. I'm taking it. This will be like my third grip I've ever done like this. So here we go. So I was provided I've got a Craftsman pancake compressor that's way over on the other end. I got me a gun. All righty. So at Star Grip, if you go to their accessories section, they actually do a pretty good job. They got two different kinds of guns depending on your make. They also have a utility knife that is not very pricey. It looks to be pretty good. They got build-up tape, which is really cool, and it's not overbearing pricing. And they also have a compressor, and it's a wiener compressor that's in the shape of a wiener, and it rolls around, and it's supposed to be a silent compressor. That has all kinds of advantages. So if you're wondering where do you go to go get that, just go there, because the prices aren't out of sight, right? It's not a $60 compressor, but again, if you're going to do this and you're looking to actually do this for a while, don't cheap out. Get something that'll last you for a while. All righty, so I did a few phone calls. So what we're going to do is you're going to like, Jim, this can go on. Yes, I could probably blow it on. And it would work. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dip the end of the grip. The end of the grip went into the solvent. And then here we go. This ought to be fun. Like that. It doesn't, it's gearing up against my face. So, here's what we're going to do. Just to kind of give you the quick installation stuff. Now, these being left-handed, you think I would have done this like this. There we go. That was not a very good demonstration of this thing, but it's on. All right. My biggest thing is I always want it seated against the butt. All right, let's see if I can get that going that way. There we go. Yeah. All right. That was not a very good demonstration, but it works. So, the reason why I was having such a hard time was I was trying to put it on against a double-sided tape. So what I was trying to do is keep it the same as all my other grips in order to feel and width and that other stuff. And I knew it was going to oppose that. And I was just trying to figure out, well, if I dip it in there, could it go? Well, we saw the answer to that is no. So you get the inside lathered up and it went on just like it was supposed to on a tapeless installation. Okay. So if it was on tapeless, and I've done it without tape, it slides right on just like you saw with it down there. However, if you want it with the tape that's not double-sided, much like my brown, then it would probably slide on right again. Okay, I would do it again for you, but I don't have another grip to put on, or I don't have another club to put on. So there it is. That's the grips. So make sure you like and subscribe so Mrs. McGolf can pick one of you guys so you can get a set of which ones that they have available. All right, let's go back to the chair, except for I gotta wash my hands. All right.
Are you done? Are you done?
I am done. So you go in there, you can go sit back, and I'll take that off. All righty. They did you now. Yep. You're not out of it all the way. Scooch. Scooch. Yes. All right, let's get back to it. Manual. Good evening, Jim Rahman. The disciples here. Hope you are well. Matt, my coach, coached me that I have to touch a club every day. And that's the reason why Manual shoots 70s. As much as my legs will carry me. That's a good answer. Other than that, Manual's 2 times a week. 27 holes is perfect for Mr. Matt, and that's about where I'd be, max. All righty. All right. Brad Ball. Hey, buddy. First time chiming in. I watch a time or two each month. I've watched all of Jim's videos. I feel like newish club maker here. East Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains. What do you do, Brad? Welcome aboard, buddy. Sit down, enjoy whatever you're doing. Got any questions? Throw them out. Manuel's got one. Doesn't matter if my driver shaft is regular flex and my irons are stiff flex and my wedges are spinner flex. Absolutely not. Doesn't matter a bit as long as it works. Why is that? Pardon me. Well, because there is no standard in a golf shaft flex. Okay, there is no standard, meaning that somebody's regular and driver could be somebody else's stiff, could be somebody else's A flex. That's just what it is. And the iron what probably you have is in irons is probably more true to flex, and the spinner shafts is an 8 iron. We all know this one, 8 iron, one flex up, trimmed up to 8 iron, boom, you're there. Where a driver shaft can be all over the map. All right, and I was just talking about that during a driver fitting for a guy in here about how we got started, and it was back in the, if we go back far enough, 80s and 90s, the quality assurance for golf shafts was basically was basically illegal. It was just horrible, and it would be nothing for somebody to be playing an A flex shaft that swings 110 mile an hour and a lady with an X flex shaft because that's what matched up. To the point, it was so bad. I personally believe it lent to the creation of custom club guys like me that were actually testing shafts to make sure that the right one got into the right head in order to get out there. So there you go. All right. Matt Ravlock says, welcome, Brad. So does Emmanuel. Matt says, that's great. All right. Kent or Peter. At 70 years old, 18 is good for him, along with a warm-up session of 45 balls plus 20 balls for short game and 30 minutes of practice putting. Holy cow, man, that's like a whole nother round. There we go. So in Myrtle Beach, lots of rain here, needed it. Playing on Saturday, shot a 78. Not very good, not really bad for playing one time last week. Oh, there you go. I think everybody needed it. We just got a downpour back here just before coming on, and it tended to wet everything down, which is about what we needed. Brad says, thanks, fellas. I intend on watching more. Life gets in the way. I love learning from everyone's thoughts and ideas. We're getting a little jealous of these folks playing across the pond. I know, right? So, but you're down there in God's country, as they would say, so you still got one up on them. Glad you're watching, though. There's Krister. How you doing, buddy? Matt saying hi. John Lamb. Oh, John's got a new thing. Golf is an endless series of tragedies obscured by the occasional miracle followed by a good cold beer. Well said. Well said indeed. All right. If the day is not too hot or too cold, I can still do 27 in great company. If the course is way long, then an 18 will suffice, slowing down, turn 73. John? Happy birthday to John. Going to that 73. Wow, good job, man. Thank you, Matt. Then later that day, a good 45-minute does well. No kidding. Oh, that's a good one. And Kent says, welcome. Says, thanks, John. Here we go. What'd Krister do this week? Let's find out. Played first 3 rounds since July. Oh, since July 3rd. Okay. That's almost the whole month, man. Competition round, shot my best score ever. Finally under 80, 77. And that was with 2 3-putts. Well done, sir. Well done. Well done. 77, 71 even. Well done. And with all that good, he ended up in 4th place. Could have been 2nd. Look at that. Well, now you're getting to that point there, Krister, where all the good players are separated by a stroke or two. And at that point, it just becomes almost the luck of the draw. Or, as they would say, if you prepared more than enough, then the luck comes for you. And you prepare quite a bit. Good for you. All righty. Krister, that's awesome. You're right. It is. Very awesome. Thanks, Matt. Kareen started preparing for the next year's Copa Field already. You know what? I want to know who came up with Copa Field. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. And Emmanuel saying nice job to Peter and Krister both. Still a great round, Krister. No, I'd say it's a hell of a round. You shot just above par and just right probably under par. So, man, that's pretty good. Matt says he runs 2 types of events and it never ceases to work. It never ceases to be work, work, and more work. I can imagine. The better it gets, the more work you'll be doing. Had 3 birdies and 1 chip in. There you go. Uh-oh, what are we getting here? We'll get my Cobra LTD LS tomorrow from Golf Bidder. Also ordered an M1 hybrid golf clubs for cash. Golf Bidder, we see those on the likes of Peter Finch and Rick Shields. When they do those, they go and pull some stuff off the shelves and go play golf. That's actually not a bad little spot, I guess. It looks like they got a lot of golf clubs for sure. Well, hopefully it works out, bud. And paid 55. There you go. Are you still gaming that? What was that older? Was that a Yes putter? Are you still gaming that Yes putter? That'd be cool. Those Cobra LTD Ellis and the Dark Speed Ellis are the bomb. Don't know why they didn't get along with the Rad Speed or the Aerojet. I don't know. Krister, the Cobra driver is a beast of a sleeper that nobody seemed to want. Paired with the right shaft, you'll be seeing it disappear into the ozone. I would imagine. And he's got that. You could just pull it out of that one driver, that hazardous club that you liked, the hazardous shaft. Phil K, my buddy from Austin. Rain is gone and is back. Oh, the rain is gone and is back. Well, down there, I can't believe you guys wouldn't want some rain. So good for you. Hopefully it doesn't last forever. We need to come up with a reason for me to come down to Waverly. Come on, man. Just come on. I didn't even know why they shipped overseas, Krister. Oh, they didn't even know that they shipped overseas. Look at them go. And the heat's back. Oh, so you got rain and then you got heat. That's a combination for a sticky mess. Hello, Kent. Thanks for supporting the girls. Uh-huh. You know, Kent's going to take that the wrong way. Yes, we are over 90 degrees in my area. Got some much needed rain. Yeah, it was pretty hot here today too, but it cooled right down. I think we're into the mid 80s. King Nexon Golf. Yes, they do. Sometimes I have to pay duty fee as well when it arrives to Sweden. Depends on the amount. Oh, okay. My dog Rex saying, give the thumbs up, fellow golfers. Hey, and keep in mind, we got to see some thumbs up, right? The like and the subscribes in order for Mrs. McGolf to pick a winner. We're going to give it to Hayden's going to be our contact for us, and we'll see. I was kind of hoping we might see their name pop up in here in the comments. They said they'd be watching. Hopefully, we'll see and we can get on there. There's Charlie. I'm ready to watch Robin put on grips. Well, it'd be far more entertaining, I can tell you that. The funny part was we're talking about this. And so I go upstairs, I get changed, I come back. What's she doing? She's putting on a grip. I set up the lights and I put the camera together. What's she doing? She's putting on another grip. So I go around into the shop, make sure everything's set up. I come back, what she's doing? She's putting on another grip. I'm like, I should have just filmed her putting on a grip. But she's a grip machine, man. Krister talking to John. Yes, it is. It had, when it came out, first driver that made me reach 170 ball speed. Ah, Krister's having a little bit going down memory lane on us. Rasmus Olsson, another from Sweden. And look at that beastie that's in his picture. That's pretty cool. That is definitely an over the roader right there, man. John, that's why I'm going back to it. It was forgiving as well. Okay. Over 90 degrees, might be hitting a mile. It does go a little bit further, but particularly if it's dry when it lands, it runs like a scalded dog. Now, I will say this. We're going back to my fitting stuff. I went and did some fittings, and one was a driver, and this guy was hitting. Uh, once it was funny when he would slice it out this way. It was like this incredibly high spin rate. It's like 5,000 RPM, which is ridiculously high. And the funny part is when I got him hitting it straight, he knocked off so much spin, and we'd hit it really, really low, but with so much velocity that it would run out. He would hit it. It was funny. He hit like 150 yards, and the damn thing would go to like 2.25 to sometime it was about 75 yards of roll out here. And my machine does not see a burn up field. It says this is medium turf. So out in today's climate, that's easy 100 yard shot, easily an extra 100 yards on the ground. That was something else. And that's what made him get to this other driver was the fact that we had him carrying the distances, the total distances were not very far apart, but I had him carrying the ball at least about 20 to 25 yards further. All right. There's Matt. Welcome, Rasmus. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, let me know. Hey, Charlie. Hello. Ram says, welcome, Brad. Rasmus had got it into us in Swedish. I don't know what that means. Maybe we got Krister here. Maybe he can help us do a little translation. And there you go. The Cobra LTDX LS is a beast. I didn't like the Aerojet. Not too many people did. Not too many people did. When we were part of Europe prior to Brexit, I could get performance parts for my Saab with my Saab, not Saab, sorry, Saab, with no import duties. That's changed now. All right. And then there's Lawrence. What do you say, man? How you doing? Oh, we got Krister talking back to him now. Maybe we can get him back into what it takes to do in English. They're probably making fun of us is what's happening. All right, Charlie. I played a Twilight 7 holes last night. The 2-iron was going out past 275. Ooh wee. That's what you get, a whole lot of good roll right there. Jim McCarthy, can't wait to see the grip technique. I've went away from tape and solvent, just use air now. No issues are so far. Well, very cool. So what'd you guys think? What'd you guys think about that? Did you like that? Because we could do more of that. It's like pulling a shaft or what it takes to cut one or finishing a ferrule, the stuff that you normally see me do, but you see me do it live. And you guys can ask questions as we get better with this and it gets more live and the stuff gets rolling around. There's Mrs. McGolf in the background. That we can see what you like to do and schedule some of that and make it part of the content. I have had good success using the reamer bit from GolfWorks on the BN. There we go, a reamer without breakage. There, I just used a regular drill bit, but now when they're sharp, nothing stands in their way. I mean, it doesn't break. When they start getting a little bit dull, that's when they start to break off a little bit.
Give some time for the person to put their information in there. Brad Hall.
Huh?
I just picked Brad.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
For the winner of the grips.
Okay. Okay. Well, she's already picked, so here we go. Ken Nicholson, golf, yes. Breck said it was bad for us that like to important golf. Yeah. I found a lot of old vintage iron sets from Clubs for Cash before Brexit and also eBay. All right. There's Miss McGolf walking down the road again. There she goes. All right. Look at that. Just let us know. All right. Manuel wants to know, why would a rubber grip twist 3 months after an install? The guy brought one back the other day and it was twisted and it was a grip that we did. Well, chances are, Emmanuel, it was already twisting and they just didn't notice it until it was too late. They probably did a one-handed thing and it was already twisted. Now, I've had situations where, and if it twists, it normally twists on the back, the butt side, or somewhere into the middle. And what happens is a pocket of air gets trapped. And when you go to put it on, and it doesn't. Also, when we had the CP2s from Golf Pride, they have a little bit of a cap on the back to keep things stable, and they call it a core. And the very first generations of those would rotate freely. They did not do what they said they were going to do, and I had to rotate several of those grips in and out in order to find one that would work. That's since been solved, and but just this last weekend, I ran into one, and and you could feel it. If the grip, when you go to put on this grip, if it's not turning, if it starts twisting even after you've put it on, that's a problem, because when you put it on and it shouldn't want to turn no matter what. Now, yeah, I get it, because you got old solvent. If you grab it and you physically push it around, yes, but I'm talking about freely. Okay. If you do, that means that there's a little bit of air trapped in it. Now, you could do it one of two ways. I use the needle from my needle gun that shoots solvent in there, and it's teeny weeny, and I just poke it and I lift it up and the air escapes, and I put it down, and it almost every time automatically grips. Okay, and that's what happens with me. So chances are, Manuel, it was already twisting. I don't know what would happen outside of there. There we go. And now he's talking to Krister. I just don't know how to. I'm trying to figure out if I could turn that over, but I don't think we can here. John Lamb. Hello, Krister. Hello, Kent. Hello, Phil. How are those Wilson fairways? I don't know. I've got one. I've got one. I don't. I'm not a fairway guy, Charlie. So asking me is not a very fair question for you. I'm more of a hybrid guy, and I've tested those things, and the Wilson hybrids they're as precise as any club I've ever hit. The unfortunate part for me, usually when they're in that test, was they didn't go very far, meaning that of the four that I tested in one pack, they were last place. Now they made a pattern like this, but I'm not giving up 15 yards from a pattern like this to a pattern like that. I'm just not. And but it did very, very well. All righty, there we go. Why? We're gonna get more. Okay. So as we're getting close towards the end here, not towards the bottom of this, but towards our normal time, Mrs. McGolf has picked a winner. And I got to go back up, and it is our new guy. She picked the new guy. She picked the new guy, and that was Brad Ball. Brad Ball. So, Brad Ball, you can either put your contact information in one of these uh, comments below, and we will send you Hayden's contact information, and you can get yourself these set of grips from Star Grip. And I am here to tell you, you will not be disappointed. All right, hopefully that worked out. You guys got any more questions about Star Grips? If you want to learn a little bit more, maybe we can bring them on at another time, and we can do a conversation. Ander is the guy that runs that, and I am sure Rasmus and Krister would have a phenomenal conversation with that guy because he's from there. Okay. Then maybe I could have him here translating. John says the Mrs. volunteer at the CPA women's golf last weekend. She had a blast. Oh, okay. She volunteered at a women's golf tournament. Was working security and the driving the players from practice range. Well, that's cool. Ladies, the women golfers they're so. I was on one of the tour trucks when they were in Indianapolis for the Women of Technology, and they're so appreciative of the help they get is just amazing because they don't get a lot of help. And it's just neat to see the different attitude from the professionals and the way they are. It's very, very cool. There we go. Hey, Rasmus is back into English. Why buy from England? Why buy? Heat a manual. It releases the tack of the grip sometimes in way hot weather or stored clubs in the boot of the car. Maybe. That's another possibility. Did you leave the cut? Look at that. There's another one on the hot day. Charles, that's it. I hope you guys are keeping well. My friends in Peebles have been suffering the heat lately. They don't have AC on the farm. Oh, dude. A window air conditioner, man. Something. Kent, that heat can attack epoxy bond and club as well. That's a fact. I've had more of those than I've ever had grips. In fact, you can tell when normally the giveaway is when the ferrule starts giving out. And I've had plenty of guys bring me golf clubs. Fact, today was the bring me your broken, bring me your tired, bring me your weary, and just a whole bunch of singles to fix of broken golf clubs or ones that are trying to slide off. So we've got that. Robin saying hello. Jim Reynolds, there he's back. Played a local member guest this weekend. No podium, but a great time was had. Keep on keeping on. There we go. Well done, sir. I also got to test the Cobra 5.5 head. Oh, geez. But the soft flex I didn't like. So wait a minute. You got a 5.5-degree head at 47.5 inches, House of Ford shaft. House of Ford shaft is not known for making a soft shaft. And hardly swung the shaft and had 118. Well, yeah, the extra couple inches, but the soft flex I did not like. All right. So did you guys see the video of that? There was some guy on there setting some sort of record ball speed, hit some 250 mile an hour ball speed. And you watch this guy, and he's obviously a long drive guy, and he's doing it inside. I don't know if he's in his garage or in his basement or wherever. And you watch this guy, and he's got one of those soft flexed shafts. And he brings that thing back, and that club lays it all the way across his back, and he pulls that club down. And I'm here to tell you that it looked like the club was going to hit him square in the head as he brings it around, and just absolutely clobbered it. Came around. The timing was awesome. And he got to 250. I guess that's some sort of record. Charles Bartholomew, that's why I never leave them in the trunk in the summer. Temps can reach the epoxy breaking at the point. Those are the guys that are usually chasing club heads down the range. And you are correct, sir. Of course, it was a good brisket. Have you ever heard of anyone say I made a bad dinner? No, I guess we can't. I could tell you, well, yeah, I did it. My very first brisket that I cooked, and it was awful. I mean, it was bad to the point nobody took a bite of it other than me because I wouldn't let them. And talk about a super rookie error. There's two super rookie errors I made. Number one, I had this dinky smoker, and it was just cheap as all get out, but it was a getting started kind of setup, and it ran with coals. Of course, they tell you you don't put any fluid on it because it gets into the meat and all this other stuff. I said, it's just smoking. How could that possibly happen? So I squirt a little bit on there, get the coals going, put some more coals on it, and then I put on a corned beef brisket. There's my second one. So we had smoked corned beef brisket that tasted like lighter fluid, and it was awful. It was totally awful. And I knew exactly what they were talking about at that point, and we never did that again. And so now I've graduated to pellets, and yeah, that we don't even have lighter fluid at this house, so that'll never happen again. There you go. Very true, Charles. My clubs are in a locker at the golf club or at the workshop at home. There we go. Harrison shaft, yes. Actually, Harrison made a comeback, Rasmus. They made a comeback. In fact, if you were really looking for a Harrison shaft, if you got on the internet, I would imagine that you would probably be able to find them. Matter of fact, now that I've said that, let's see if we can. Let's go this Harrison shafts. All righty. Mike's Golf Outlet has some. GolfWorks is talking about them. Golf WRX. Oh, maybe they're not around anymore. Facebook's got one, Harrison Golf. I don't know if that's the same guy. Look up at ProSeriesGolf.com. Clubmaker Online's got some. And that's about it. I got an email. It was about a year ago. I got an email from the guy that started Harrison Shafts, wondering if I was interested, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. We got too many people wanting to supply shafts. All right, you got that right, John Lamb. All righty, Rasmus, you can find cheap golf clubs in the UK, and you can also find old stuff that's hard to find anywhere else. Specials in Sweden, old vintage blades like Salinger B51. So Rasmus Olsen, if Krister is like we live through Krister in order to find all these different golf clubs, because he finds stuff and then he turns around and he hits the crud out of it. So he is the one guy I would say he knows what he's talking about when it comes to getting clubs like that. Well, I figured that amount. You know, if you're going to do Copperfield, you want to pay about $3,000. Or like new clubs, brand new, like Link Golf. Yeah, now Link Golf, Kent and all those guys that are over there, Link Golf is supposedly over there. How's that doing? Is it made a footprint in the UK or even in Europe anywhere? Because they look like they were getting ready to take off, and then all of a sudden I don't hear anything from them anymore. Charlie always brings his clubs in out after playing and then cleans them. Good for you. David Murray, I have a TaylorMade R11 driver. Ooh, you're in Krister's territory now. All of a sudden, there's 3-4 chunks of what I guess is broken off epoxy stuck inside the driver head, making a lot of noise. All right. Does anyone have any ideas on how to fix it? Okay, so David, chances are epoxy is one of the potential issues. However, if it was assembled correctly, there would be a piece that goes in the bottom of the hosel. They call it a hosel plug. And that is to prevent that epoxy from getting in there. What you're probably hearing is welding slag. All right. And the welding slag can't be any bigger than a grain of sand. And it just sounds horrible in that golf club. And what OEMs do in order to ensure that they don't get that you don't hear that rattle, they put in what's called rattle stop, or what we call rat glue. Okay, and rat glue is something that is this concoction that is super duper sticky. It's almost like the stuff. Imagine if you scraped off all the sticky stuff off of a Post-it note and you made enough to make a glob of it and you heated it up and made it into a liquid form. That's basically what it is. So what can you do? All right. So the first thing you could do is if you get a propane torch, or better yet, a butane torch, because butane actually has a much more finite delivery area, and you run it up against the, hold on, and what you'll do is you'll run it up here all the way through here, okay, and all the way, not just part of it, because what's going to happen, and you're going to want to hold it like this, and you're going to want to heat it like this. Okay, you're going to heat it like that, and it's only going to take about 20 seconds. Okay, and that 20 seconds, what's going to happen is it's going to reactivate that rat glue that's in that head. and then you shake it around a little bit, and it should catch it. And then just set it down and let it sit there and rest for a moment, and then see what happens. That should be good enough. If that does not work, oh look, it's now following me again. And if it doesn't work, you're going to have to pull the head, and you're going to have to take that hosel plug out, and you're going to have to stick more rattle stop in there to stop it. There we go. That's it. His name is Ander. Good guy. Look at that. Kent's all over it. Jonathan Weaver, star grips are the best. Smoothie is my favorite. I like that grip. You know, when I got these that I've got, and I like what I've got. They're in my bag right here. That one. Yep, that one. I like them. And I totally forgot about them. And we used those back in the day for years. And really, 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 really did that. So not bad. All righty. I already like Jim. Sebi, what do you say? Have you tried the Champ Key golf grips? No, I have not. Not in my wheelhouse. I have. They've come through. I've had some other guys put them on. I'm only guessing that it's the less expensive version of the Golf Prides, because they're very, very similar, right? They're not as tacky as the Golf Pride, but they have a very, very similar texture. And if they last a while, they're not bad. Hey, Al from the Space Coast in the best. All right. So I'd have to drill a hole in the sole. No, you don't have to drill a hole in the club to do that. No, you don't have to drill a hole in the club. You just have to heat up the bottom. If it still persists, you got to pull the shaft, and then you go in through the hosel and stuff it in there. That part is probably, unless you're a club, a tinkerer of sorts, you'd be better off to take it to a club person wherever you're at, and they would know exactly what to do. At least I would hope. I'm on those grips. All right. We're seeing some pure grip shit. We're getting some star grip love going on. That's not bad. James Dunlap, how are you, sir? It still looks like it evaporates rather quickly. It does. It does get through there. In fact, I'm going to have to go back and see if I did a good job. And then there's Missing McGolf saying, hey, can you hear it? Look at that. That's a neat little logo I got going on. Grayling Slayer. I wish I could play a few rounds, but dealing with cancer treatment, not staying strong enough to play. Well, brother, here's to you getting better at beating that damn cancer down like a bitch, right? We're all hoping for you. Grayling Slayer. That was the name of a sub, Charlie. You can back me up on this one, the Grayling. And we hope that you get strong enough and you get back into it and enjoy the rest of your life. Brian Pettit says we can hear you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, I can remember if the R11 has a plastic plug in it, David. If it does, drill that out. I don't necessarily go the R11. Remember that the R11 thing? If I recall correctly, that had that big goobery like adjustment thing so that it would adjust your lie angle at address when you set it down. Now that had a screw that you could pull out. I don't know if it now that would be something to consider. If it does have that adjustment piece, it was about the size of a 50-cent piece. And you take that screw out and you pull it out. And if you can see into the head, that would be one heck of a place to install it. Yeah, there we go. David Murray, what they make rattle stop. Yep, there we go. We check the head, last resort. Yeah, you don't want to fill it up, just like John's talking about. It's just a matter of what you do is, what I do is, it's in a little bitty tube. It can be this big around, and it's about that big, about as big around as a quarter, and about 3 inches tall. And I mark it off in graduated pieces to prevent myself from adding too much, right? This much, that big around in that head is enough to coat the bottom of the head. And that's pretty much all you need, right? It doesn't need to float in there like soup and it grab around so it's drowning. It just needs to be grabbed. And when it cools down, it grabs it and holds on to it. There you go. I don't like being in front of a camera. I said it twice. But Robin caresses the grip. Yeah, no shit. Alrighty. McGolf, try Yam Stag 12, the best single malt. Yamazaki. What? Yamazaki. Is that Japanese? That sounds Japanese. That might be a pretty decent. Japanese have been doing pretty good in their single malt stuff. Uh, I started out, Rasmus, I started out in Scotch, so I'm not afraid. In fact, some of the newest trend over here in the States is that the bourbon people are embracing malted bourbons, single malt bourbons, single malt, and it is a different flavor. In fact, it reminds me of scotches that are from Speyside. It's a very neutral. There's not that smoky flavor. It's actually not bad. A lot of people don't like it because it doesn't have that slap you in the face bite, which I don't care for. So, but yeah, well, if I see that over here, which in my little neck of the woods, probably I will not, but I'll keep an eye out. No doubt. That throwing it, blowing it on there was definitely not my best moment, but we figured out how to get it on there. And like I told you, it was like the third time ever of me actually putting them on. All right, thanks, Kent. Fairly sure it does not have a plug in the hole, but maybe it'll drill elsewhere. Don't drill, because if you drill and you don't plug it, then dirt gets in there and you'll still have rattles. Sally says that Robin needs to show her drink. Well, did you show your drink or not? I'm going to wait here for a minute because there's a time lapse. And you can come right here and you can go, here's my drink. It's in a Yeti, Sally, and a 32-ounce Yeti. And so I'm drinking a little bit of this, and she's drinking out of a 32-ounce Yeti. So go figure. Lawrence has got a question. Can a driver head weigh 206 grams? Absolutely. I cut the shaft and added 12 grams to the head, thinking bringing the driver. Blah, blah, blah. Added 12 grams to the head to bring the driver back to D5.5 swing weight. Is that legal? All right. So number one, in the day, the average gram weight for a driver was between 200 and 205. All right. The weights that most people will test on their flex, there's a weight cylinder, is actually 205 grams. So yes, it can. Now, in today's weights, if you were just to weigh the head, it would come out light in the 190s, maybe even further down. And that is because it does not include the adapter. The adapter, you put it in there and it gets you back into that 200 range for sure. Okay. Now, you cut down the shaft and you added 12 grams to bring it back to D5.5. Number one, why D5.5? That's pretty doggone heavy, man. All right, so why bring it back to that? Now, the second piece is you added 12 grams. It depends on where you put that 12 grams. If you somehow you figured out how to put 12 grams down the shaft, in order to do that, you physically move the center of gravity of that club. All right, and it takes about 10 grams to move it about that much. So if you're a heel hitter and you put it all into the hosel, you're going to like this club a lot because the better part of the club just moved closer towards the hosel. However, at the cost of that. Now, if you painted the bottom of the club in lead tape and were pretty consistent, no sweat. But the thing is, you'll probably hit it higher because you just pulled the center of gravity down on that amount. So you got to be careful when you go above 10 grams. Exactly. You would know that that's enough already aligned correctly. There you go. Yes, there is no legal limit on driver head weight. You are correct. Is that one of the new Callaway wedges? No, it's not. It is not. I am keeping the J grind, Charlie, until it doesn't work. Okay. We did get in the new Opus wedges. I will say they do look cool. Okay. They have a nice radius on the sole going from tip to toe, and they have a decent radius going this way. It would appear that they have less grind options, which is in a lot of cases not necessarily a bad thing. But what I'm looking at first blush when I looked at them, they had a standard grind, they had a W grind, and they had a C grind, I believe a D grind, and an S grind. The W grind in the previous model was pretty wide, and now it's not as much. It's wider than all the rest, it's just not as wide as it once was. At least it gives you the appearance of that, and it could be just because of the club. The face is not, it's not a full face grind. It's got the, the wedge, the line is outlined by clean, not buffed out stuff. And it comes in a black, and it comes in that particular chrome. Now, as I understand it, there is another one that has a whole lot of different, the sole grind is beveled, has a lot more going on, and has a little bit better metal in it, I think. And it's a much more expensive wedge. And I don't know what the cost of these things are, but I do know that we'll call it their premium wedge. I don't know what the name of it is just yet. That wedge is cresting $200. Okay. I don't know how far. I'm guessing about 2.25, maybe 250, knowing the Callaway folks. Well, Kent, it's not masking tape. It is a brown paper tape that they use for packaging over here, and it might be paper. What they would be classified as if you went looking for a brown craft with a K tape, paper tape, and I use that because it's thicker. And if you truly wanted to use buildup tape and not have to use 18,000 layers of it like in masking tape because it's very thin, use this stuff and it still bends and it's pliable. You can use it as packing tape if you wanted to in this particular instance, but that's what it's called here is than that. Now we do have masking tape, but it's not the same stuff. And okay, there you go. So I did that one, There we go. How soon we'll send them to you? They're ordered, right? They're ordered, and we checked. And it's funny that you asked that. We checked our order, and the righties are coming, and there's no lefties on the order. So Mr. McGough changed that this morning or this afternoon. Okay. More air pressure. You know what? I was thinking that. I cranked it up to about 65, I think it was. I had it up at 90 at one point, and I trying to take one off, and I blew this big air bubble in. I thought it was going to blow up in my face. So that's obviously too much. So I'm going to go with around 65, 75 will do it. Now, again, that thing, I will say this. The reason why it stuck was because I was using double-sided tape. All right, that's on me. Because I want all my grips to be the same. They all have that piece of brown in the front. They all have that double-sided tape on them. That's for me because I don't want them feeling. Now, do I have that level of sensitivity? No, I do not. But it'll play in my head, and I don't want it there. So that's the reason why I did what I did. Now, you saw as I got it lathered up on the inside, it took off and it shot right in like it was supposed to. And that's the way it would go on if I didn't have that double-sided. So you saw me fail at it, I know, but don't be afraid. Too old to run. Ha ha ha. Popped once with too much air. That's a fact. And I have no doubt, right? I have no doubt she would do much better. But although Robin does not like change, and I've tried to say, hey, you want to try it with air? No. Can we try it? No. Can we put no? We're not. No. We're not going to go there. So she likes the grip solvent. She knows what she's doing with it, and that's where we're going to be. Like a balloon, he says, like a balloon. And there you go. Not with air. I called that one. Need a bigger hammer. No doubt. No doubt. I'm in that camp, man. I am absolutely in that camp. Well, it did for me, Charlie. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt with if you use the non-sticky tape, would it have gone on? Yes, it would have. But again, I'm still old school, and I do like the solvent myself. And as you saw, they went on very well with the solvent easily as too. I sometimes use an old laser pointer to make sure I've got the grip alignment right. I use, is that thing moving on me again? Make sure I've got the grip alignment. I use 6.5 wraps and 6 full wraps of what? A mid-size can be fun to align the logo. Holy cow, dude. You're getting on Bubba territory right here. Man, that's a whole lot of wrappage. That's 73. Do what the hell you want, man. That's a lot of wraps. Yes, yes, yes. Cheating. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Oh, they're talking about the wedges right there. John Neeran, there's a new name. I've always had good luck pushing them from the back of the grip. That's what I do. I don't. You see those guys that they grab it with both hands and they shove it along, and all that stuff comes squirting out the back. I've never subscribed to that. I just put my thumb over the weep hole and push it on, and that creates that error that allows you to push it on and get it and allow you to move it real quick. There you go. That's exactly right. I was going on. Yep, echo. Yep, yep, yep. that's what that's what happens when Mrs. McGough brings in the iPad in here, and we have two microphones fighting for supremacy. Okay, so if you guys got any other things that you'd want to see, please put it in there. We can set some stuff up, and that would be kind of fun doing these little not over the top jobs that you guys can do at home in order to or make that happen. Now, the last thing we didn't really talk about is you saw me was the clamp, right? And you'll have some joker on YouTube going, "Oh, you don't need all that stuff. Just set it on the ground and shove it down in there, and away you go." You can be successful doing that. I will not deny. However, when you do that, the risk of breaking that club is exponentially higher than the way I do it. The other part is that once you finally get it on, then you're all about throwing it and aligning it in the whole 9 yards where it's already done the way that we do it. When your project is held securely, life is better and less breakage or no breakage will occur. Now, that said, in any kind of bench or anything, in my life there's always been a vice. Whether it be a big one, a small one, or whatever, there's always been a vice. Now, at Golf Works, you can buy a rubber clamp. You can buy them everywhere. It's a little rubber clamp about 3 inches long, and you can put it in the vise or snap it onto your golf club, put it in the vise, screw it down so it's a little bit tight, and voila, there you are. You don't have to spin. And that was the other accessory that was at Star Grip, the speed clamp. And you can do it like that, and you can do it on the down low when you're doing it for yourself because time is not a consideration, and you don't have to spend a couple $100 on a speed clamp. Now, if you're a tinkerer or a tool guy or somebody that likes that kind of stuff like me, I got to have it, right? Got to have it. Got to have the speed clamp, and it makes life so much easier. And it becomes one of my most useful tools. I use it to help push ferrules back down the shaft. I use it to hold the BB&Fs while I ream them out. Do a lot of that kind of stuff with that. I also use it to help pull heads when the grip has been broken, and it helps me grip it so I can turn the head. So it becomes a very, very useful tool. On N01 grips. I don't have any mark because I've never worked with them. I don't even think I've had one in the shop. I've seen them, but I just don't know a lot about them. It'd be a lot of fun to have after Mexican cuisine. But I don't know, Charlie. If he sounds like that after Mexican cuisine, that could be kind of problematic. Newton shafts. Anyone here experience them? They seem to advertise on a larger bin in the shaft. I don't. I get a lot of their advertisements about that as far as it goes. That's what I'm saying, Kent. Right there, bud. The smell is the biggest part of the grade you get when the sound is supplementary. I'm bringing. Okay, they opened the door, Robin. I'm bringing out the skeleton barrel next time. We're getting close. I got a skeleton barrel. Oh, wait a minute. I might be able to show you. Hold on. Skeleton barrel. And you'll know why I said this as soon as we get there. Here we go. Slip through the cracks. All right, here we go again. Kinda let that one slip through the cracks. There, Matt at Mexican food right there. Josiah D, what he says, isn't there the story that gentleman that used to work at Star Grips went on to start a company of pure grips? There's some interrelation there, Josiah. Of that, the materials that they use are very, very similar. Their grip profile was very big at the butt end and then got smaller, and they were very, very, very dynamic. But apparently, they did not last. How fitting! UPS just showed up with a shipment of shafts and grips. Nice, well done. Let's see, Lawrence got a 94, 89, 85, and 94. That 94 stroke round was hellishly hot. Ah, okay. Don't like that. Don't like hot. Howdy from St. Louis. Timely show for me. I need to regrip a few clubs. Thinking of going to a larger grip due to arthritis. What are some of the issues of having a larger grip? Well, if you're going for arthritis, pretty much nothing. Okay. The typically what would happen is larger grips weigh more. The more they weigh, the more that they impact the swing weight. Now, the real question is, can you feel swing weight? Right? If you go to a mid-size, I've seen so many people panic. Oh, the swing weight's going to be off. Well, you got to keep in mind that when you put weight on, you're putting it in here. The weight is coming into your hands. So if you're not too sensitive and you feel, and it's more total weight again than swing weight, but if you put it here and you like that feel there, then what's the deal? Who cares what the swing weight measurement is? All right. Now, if you're on the opposite side of that, then yeah, you're going to have to put some weight at the other end of it. But keep in mind that you just keep adding and adding and adding, and you're going to wonder what in the hell happened to your club. PZ says, nice round, guys. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I've had inner scores and my handicap's dropped again. Very well. I have having issues with clients wanting specific shaft lengths and basically not knowing the difference between a shafted club and a raw length shaft. I tell you what, yeah. They watch the internet for about 5 seconds and now they're Totally informed. And Mrs. McGolf and I spend a lot of our day educating. If a client tells you they want a 45-inch standard, would you assume that that means raw or shafted? I would imagine a completed club. That's where I would go with it. Yeah, I wouldn't even measure. I wouldn't even worry about raw or shafted. I would just say your completed club is at 45 inches. In fact, we did one of those today. We did a guy came in and wanted us to put a Cobra adapter on there, and he wanted it at 45 inches. Now, tradition dictates as a driver, if you cut it, if you want 45 inches because there's about 1 inch ground to bottom bore, you get cut at 44, you get a 45-inch club. That's what it is. You don't bring me the head, that's what I do. And that's where we got. All right, some clients know, some are just repeating what they heard or what they heard. Yes. So you get a lot of that, Brad. You do. And, and I think it's fun because what it does is it sets you up to be the expert. Okay, it sets you up to be expert in that you can tell them what the differences is, explain to them what the differences is, and tell them why they would want to do one thing or the other, and what the consequences are. All of a sudden, you are now the expert, and they are coming back to you. So, from a business perspective, it's a good thing. And we got Matt out there. How you doing, Matt? I'd agree. Yep. Wayne Nothing, where it's been a while, buddy. How often do you change your golf ball during a round of golf? If I'm striking it well, I probably don't. Right now, if I clean it off a tree or get some road rash on it, then yeah, it's going out. It's gone. But typically in a round, probably not. And if I start off with it brand new, of course. Denton, Texas, Mr. Three Putt. I have a question. Can I convert my Lab DF2 into a broomstick? Aye, 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 aye. Maybe. It depends on what your lie angle is right now. All right. So keep in mind when you go into a broomstick, and let's assume that you're at 35 inches. A broomstick is going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 40 inches. Okay. Maybe more. So you're getting ready to add on quite a few, right? You're getting ready to add between 10. It's going to be this much, right? And in order to get here versus down where you're at. So 35 to 40, actually, it's probably closer to 45, 48 inches. So 10 to 12 inches, that's a lot of distance. And when you go to hold it up here and you go to putt and you go to bring it a little closer now that it got taller, your toe is going to toe down and the back end is going to go up. So it won't play as flat unless you stick it straight out, and now it could possibly be too far away. So you got to be careful of that. Now, could you do it on a belly putter if you wanted to get up a little, get it up in that 38-inch range? Yeah, all day. You can do that all day. Just stand a little taller and you're good to go. Jose, I also wanted to let you know, Jim, that I got certified by the other gym. Oh, at GolfWorks? Yeah, Yananich, good for you. Back when they had that going, I got certified in the fitting and club making back in 19. Yeah, Yananich is good, man. He actually helped me with it. I went through that same fitting with him in 1999. That's how long he's been there, right? That's how long he's been there. Hold on. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's. Last I talked to him, he had really messed up his. He'd messed up his ankle pretty bad, and it was causing him mobility issues. So I'm not real certain. I'm sure he's still there, but and it may be a different capacity. Lie angles are different, more upright for a broom. There we go. Now the headway you could get away with, but he's right. You would want it to be a little heavier because unlike clubs, when they get longer, they'll feel heavier. The putter does not because of the way that we're swinging it. Okay. Like right now on the table, I have a sim for a 14-year-old wanting to go lighter than their 60-gram regular. So I swing weight at D6 and measure at 46, and they said it was a half inch under length. Unless this 14-year-old is like 6'7", I don't know why. That is no. And now TaylorMade is notorious for making a long club. 46 is not unreasonable for a standard length for TaylorMade. I have yet to see a 46-inch club, but at 14-year-old, unless this guy is a giant, I guarantee you beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you had this guy grip down about 2 inches or an inch and a half at a bare minimum, he would probably strike it better and it would go further and it would be tighter. So and that's just unless this guy's an ace, right? But I mean, even on the tour, they're not doing that. So why would a 14-year-old want to, right? That's what I would be saying. They want a half inch more for a growing teen. Number one, I don't know why it'd be D6, but that's ridiculous. And at a half, and add that half to 40. Now, what? Now I don't know if add that half inch and take it to 46 and a half playing length or make it 45 standard length. Okay, so we got to get back into got to get back on the groove here. So each company has a different, we'll call different things standard, just like the flex of a shaft is not standard. And you could go to Callaway and they say 45 and a half for all of them, and then all of a sudden one model's 45, or it may be even 46, like their ultralight stuff. If you go for their Fast Max stuff, right now they got their Fast Max. I would bet real money. I haven't measured it, but I think that's probably 46-inch shaft for all the rest of their clubs are 45 and a half. And that's because they're using lighter gear in order for you to swing faster, and they're really concerned about the swing weight being out of whack. All right. Now, TaylorMade is doing the same thing. They can extend their stuff, the stuff they want to be faster. They use lighter stuff and make it longer. Okay. So, and it might be their standard. Don't let a person get hooked up into what standard length is versus what the correct length is. The only time I've ever gone over 45 and a half inches is when the player was nearly 7 foot tall. All right. And a guy that hit at 45 inches, I can still count on one hand how many times I've done that. All right. All the rest of them have been somewhere between 43 and 3/4 down to 43 and a half. All right. And that's just human beings right there. Rasmus asked me how it's going with my swing. I answered, going good. Oh, okay. Leon, what do you say, man? Long time no see. How's Minnesota? 257 yard, I don't hit my driver that far. Well, that's a pretty good guy, man. He hits it pretty hard. I like the sonar grips, Krister. I think they're pretty neat. I do. I like them. They're tacky. They got kind of this. They got a bit of a give to them with that pattern that they've got on them. It makes it almost like they took some torque and they actually added torque into the grip, meaning that it wants to twist a little bit. But I do like the tackiness of that grip. Oh, dude, I need all kinds of practice with air if I'm going to do that kind of stuff. You better believe it. And I won't be using double-sided tape either. There we go. And again, thank you. Yes, I agree. John Cherry came in late. Hey, how you doing, buddy? You can cut the tip off of a reamer when it gets dull and chamfer too hard. Yep. I'm getting one of those drill doctors. The 2 iron that was blasted, my longest drive of the week was 271. I'm taking my ball and going home now. Yeah, I know. He hits the ball a long way, and with that short little bitty backswing he's got, and he just puts all that speed into it. He's got all that height to be able to help with it too. He just hits the ball a ton. Love the instructions. Have you tried a Dremel tool with a granite bit open to a ferrule? No, I have not. Uh, I just haven't had any need just yet. You know, they break. That stuff happens, but you can put them back together. We're good to go. I don't hit anything to it. Yeah, me and you, Charlie. Me and you. I got a lot of good rollout too, and I was hitting them, and that all tinkering paid off. Well, there you go. Good job. There we go. And Brad's the winner. No problem. There we go. Jack King, better late than never from Lombard. How are you, sir? No lighter fluid and smoking meat. That's an absolute must. That should be rule number 1. No doubt. Nathan Julich, what do you say, man? And happy Monday to you, too. You're more than welcome, Rasmus. Hopefully you come on back. Hey, here we go. We got, I'm not even going to say that last name. Look, Star Grip is in the house. The shipping manager is in. Well done. How you doing, buddy? Things are going good. I'm sitting there. I got my irons. Have got the red sidewinders on them. We were just talking about the other ones I used so long ago. I totally forgot that they even existed. And another set of good grips, really are. I was wondering how you guys get the color in those grips. That was always something to wonder about. There's Robin saying hello. Congratulations, Brad, from Josiah. Michael Moody, just to say hello to you guys. Well done, sir. Please hit that like and subscribe. Oh, we got Munich, Germany in the house. Well, thank you, sir, for showing up. Still trying to figure out what performance parts on a Saab are maybe get kickstand or a racing stripe. Oh, dude. If this damn thing would stop following me, that would have been funny. That is pretty good. Heard Tacoma irons, thinking of getting a set of the 301s. Tacoma actually, I'll tell you what, I have worked with a couple of those, Krister, and for a direct-to-consumer kind of thing, they do the Como irons do a pretty decent job. I wouldn't necessarily subscribe to if particularly if you're sensitive to sound. Their hollow body iron is kind of clingy, but the other ones actually look to be pretty good. I did that. That was what I did. That was the copper clubs that they did. When I cut grips on graphite, I cut the shaft. How to reinforce it again as they're cut a bit inch or so. When I cut grips on graphite shafts, I cut the shaft. How to reinforce it again as they are cut a bit once or so. Well, okay. So when you cut the grip, I'm not Mikayaku. Okay. Anyway, when you cut the grip, don't cut it off like that. Grab it with a hook blade and pull it, and that way you don't cut your golf shaft. If you're cutting your golf shaft and you need to, they have what's called inserts or extensions, and you want a graphite extension. Now, you want to make sure you measure the inside diameter of your shaft so that it marries up with the outside diameter of the extension. You glue that in there, cut your extra inch back on, and you're good to go. Yep, roger that of the grayling. There we go. Ooga. Shipping from Finland, 704 tour shaft and long. There you go. I don't know what kind of tour shaft you'll be getting, Krister, but I'm sure you can take it back to your guy and you can throw some really cool stuff in it. Albert S., what do you say, man? I have a set of Cobra Tech irons. I can't seem to stop from overdrawing them. drawing and overdrawing them. Is there anything I could do with the grips that would change that, or what would you suggest? All right, a little bit later on, he says he also has mid-size super stroke grips. King Tex. So a couple of things. I if I'm trying to think, if King Tex have a lot of offset, you might be screwed. That's the offset is what helps delay the club or helps get the club square, maybe even more for your case, closed in your swing. Okay. Uh, I'm trying to think. It just without having to change a thing, Albert. One thing is, I would check your strike or do a line angle test and see whether or not maybe you could flatten them, and that might help you out a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy, but do the actual test to make sure, because you might be in the heel of the golf club. If you're in the heel of the golf club and you flatten it out and you hit it, that'll really, really help. That's probably the first thing. Okay, I would like to groove old wedges with a metal spine. Just have drilling and cut through the existing rows and deepen them. I have a drilling machine and can go through the rows with the machine. Is it possible? I think you have to have an end mill for this if you want to do it with a machine. Uh, there are, if you're looking to regroove, there's what they call a club nest that locks in the club, and you can set it down. And then they have a grooving tool which you could just pull back on each one of the grooves. It's not very precise, but that's one way of doing it. I've watched guys regroove irons, and they did it with a saw blade that was as big around as a dime, and it was just totally thin. And this guy did it by hand, and he drew it. The club was still, and he drew it back along the lines, each one, in order to get it. Because, pardon me, let's face it, you're not going very deep, and you're not going very wide. Now, from a R&A, pardon me, from an R&A and a USGA point of view, if you do it, most likely you'll make the club illegal. But if you're not worried about that, then have a day. Tomas Molinsky, what do you say? Yansky was born from the surprising, delicate, yet profound experience of Japanese single malt whiskey. There we go. That's what I sounded like, a Japanese thing. And Japanese don't really get into that smoky flavor. So what little bit I've tasted from them, it's actually a neutral type of thing, so not too bad. I've been playing D9 Forged for 2 years. Is it worth the upgrade to the Dynapower Forged? Well, we have a guy on here. His name is Charlie. He's been playing the Dynapower or the D9s, and he went up to the Dynapowers, and he is fully switched over. I would let him tell you that. Personally, I think it's a better club head. The sole is not as wide. It's a little bit more narrow. The look is far superior as far as I'm concerned. And I believe it might be a degree stronger. And if you're out onto the toe, it is like a toe hitter's dream. It goes forever. To the point, they're in my bag. Thomas, multi-layered with fruit and Mizuno Omas, Mizaki whiskeys, complex and deep, made at the Yamatsky Distillery, the birthplace of Japanese whiskey. Its signature multi-layered taste is highly praised. Well, there we go. Man, he's got he knows his Yamatsky Distillery stuff right there. All right. If I see it, then I think I must pick it up now. That's for the regular Opus wedge, Charlie, not we'll call it the upgraded model. There we go. Okay, I added lead tape to the back and the bottom of the club. I wanted to bring it to a D weight close to the mini burner. Since been hitting so well, the draft is a half inch longer or so. No, that you'd be fine with that. As long as it's spread out, not one place, you should be fine. The new Smoke Club is so light, I kept slicing it, and I went back to the Rogue Really? They're literally the same weight, unless you change something else in the head. It depends on which kind of Rogue. Or but the LS is a low spinner too. I like that one too, Lawrence. I like the LS model. Drew Brown, what do you say, sir? Hoorah! Semper Fi, man. Although I'm not a Marine, but hoorah! A lot of Marines in my family. It's a whole lot of wraps. However, my hands are like catcher's mitts, and I've shrunk now 6'5", about 240. Where da 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 da. Okay, so John, Jumbo Max. Jumbo Max. Try out the Jumbo Max. Their idea of a small is bigger than most people's jumbo. If you get to their extra large, and they do have some that are straight, non-tapered. In fact, they call them straight eights. You get one of those in your hand. I would guess that you would probably be pretty pleased with that one. My dog Rex, man, we are so we have got a lot of folks on here, and that is awesome. I just told Robin it's between 6:30 and 7 o'clock we'd be done. Here it is 7:15. We are going for it. There we go. Maybe a little heavier shaft would help with that lighter club head feeling. I would agree. John saying, don't know if you want to let him drive though, unless the windows all go all the way down. Oh, no doubt. There we go. Even Krister got onto that one. Yep. There you go. Well, look here. Rasmus is telling Krister to go to Tacomo's. How much? How much? What's the over under, Charlie or Matt, that we're going to be seeing Krister in some Tacomo's? 29 King was the last year that was offered right before COVID. Ah, okay. There, yep. Oh, he's a Titleist man in most cases. I don't know yet if I will change or just buy another set of irons, that Tacoma combo set. I would just buy another set. I don't know if I'd trade those in or not, what you got fitted to, because they seem to be working. You just shot a 77, 71. I don't know. All righty. Brett says, thank you all for the info tonight. I'm going to Mitchell Golf School in November, staying very busy right now, learning every day. Mitchell, all right. Let me know how that works out, because there's no other school out there that I know it's working. Control over distance, a little more workability. There we go. Well, Krister hits at a mile anyway, Rasmus. Ah. We got here, sure, just Japanese brand. I play a Muragaiken. Oh, okay. That's been man, Muragaiken. That's a good one. Como's nice. Hit a few of them. You'll like the Fords. I'd have to agree with that. Nice thinking of the 301 model. I think he would like that. Oh, there's Charlie. He's throwing in with he's saying, now he's our man. He was D9s and went in there, and he likes them. Yeah. I'll go with the over. I'll give him a month. It's in his head now. It's in his head. I give him over, just barely. To facilitate a draw for Sonny, heavier or lighter shafts? What do you guys think? I think it depends, right? I think it depends. If you got a guy that's an over the topper, right, throws his shoulder over the top, a lighter club would probably be way to go. Okay. In most cases, most fitters will tell you that lighter is the way to go. However, if you got a guy that comes deep from the inside, typically a slightly heavier club will work. But that's a deep from the inside. Those guys aren't far. They're far and few between. Oh yeah, we got. It's no doubt he's getting the Tacomo's, PZ. I'm just wondering when. Oh yeah, you know he's in there. Yep. All righty, here we go. Don't be surprised if we're here next week. Krister's gotten a set of 301s. I'm going a few weeks more. I think that good scoring is really what helped him out. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of that. The minute that he shoots 85, Tacomos are in the bag. Oh, that was a good one, guys. So we went, man, look at this. Didn't set a mat record, but man, we set a record nevertheless. 720, and we got all kinds of stuff talked about. That's awesome. Thank you for all the new folks that showed up, Brad, everybody that from around the world. We got Germany in the house now, a couple extras from Sweden. That's all good. And if you guys, if you know, even if you want to keep commenting, if you wanted to see something else that maybe you would do in your shop, and it doesn't have to be very complex, and we can talk about what it is and actually do one in the shop. I think that I don't know about you, but I thought it was pretty cool. So again, thank you guys. Our gentleman that had the cancer, we're hopefully the man upstairs looking out over time to kick the crap out of that cancer. And as always, guys, let's see your scores go low.